Would you like to learn one of the simplest techniques to build good habits? That technique is something known as temptation bundling that's talked about in the book Atomic Habits by James Clear. This simple concept can make difficult and draining habits much easier by taking advantage of a cool feature of your psychology. In this video, we'll briefly review the temptation bundling concept and then provide a step-by-step process on how to implement it into your personal life. Now, if you enjoy the content of this video, then please help us out by taking a few seconds to hit the like button and then subscribe to our channel. All right, let's start by going over what temptation bundling is. What is temptation bundling? In layman's terms, temptation bundling is grouping something you don't like with something you do like. Here's an example. Let's say you want to get in shape and you decide to start jogging. Only there's one unfortunate snag. The idea of going for a jog makes you feel like locking the doors and jumping in bed. However, maybe you love podcasts. You might even have a favorite podcast that you can't get enough of. You can temptation bundle by going for a jog while listening to your favorite podcast. This makes the unattractive but beneficial behavior, jogging, more attractive because you're linking it with listening to your favorite podcasts. There are practically infinite ways you can combine unattractive and attractive behaviors. There are probably times in your life when temptation bundling helped you learn new skills. Did you ever have to learn French or Spanish in school and hate it, but then find out your crush is from France? All of a sudden, those French lessons become a lot more interesting. Were you scared of learning to ride a bike, but seeing your older brother and friends riding around the neighborhood motivated you to beat your fear? There are most likely countless times that temptation bundling has impacted your life, but now you can make it work for you. Now, let's learn a bit about why this interesting psychological technique works so well. The science behind temptation bundling. Temptation bundling is based on a principle known as the Premack principle. David Premack was an American psychology professor at the University of Pennsylvania. His studies on human behavior led him to understand some very important insights into how behavior works. He found that higher frequency behaviors, or stuff that you like to do, can reinforce low frequency behaviors, stuff that you don't like to do. Or more simply, if you do something that you don't like and then do something you do like, you're more likely to engage in the behavior you don't like. To put this even more simply, remember what your grandma told you. Eat your veggies and then you can have ice cream. But why is this even necessary? Why can't you just eat your veggies and go for your run knowing that these behaviors are good for you? Unfortunately, our minds have spent millions of years in a Stone Age environment and see things in terms of survival. You want the ice cream because it's a dense source of calories, and you don't want to run because your evolutionary instincts say that you're wasting precious energy you might need in case a predator attacks you or food becomes scarce. The great thing about human psychology is that it's very changeable. One of the great things about temptation bundling and the Premack principle is that it can make you like the less attractive behavior over time. As you're listening to your podcasts and going for your jog, you start to enjoy your regular running sessions. You'll look forward to these nearly as much as your podcast. The caveat is that this process happens slowly. You won't suddenly become addicted to running or exercise. Now, we've covered the science. Let's look at how you can apply temptation bundling to your life. How to get started with temptation bundling. First, grab a piece of paper and a pen or pencil. Create 2 columns. In the left column, write down all the pleasurable activities you enjoy, anything at all that brings you happiness or pleasure. In the right column, write down important tasks that you don't like doing or tend to procrastinate on. Make this list as detailed as possible in both columns. Take your time and add everything you can think of. Now, when you've completed your list, look for combinations of tasks in the left column that you could link to the right column. For example, let's say you've got a ton of housework to do, but there's a TV show you love that you could put on while you finish these jobs. Or you could drink your favorite beverage while doing your homework. You could even reward yourself for doing something you don't like but need to do, finishing tedious paperwork, with something that you do like to do, chatting to a coworker. Finally, you can get started by agreeing to only enjoy the activities in the left column when you are completing a habit in the right column. In other words, you will build a specific habit by attaching to an enjoyable activity. Now, if you'd like to learn how to do this, then watch our video about the 9-step process for building good habits.